Rising Hell is another game that's attempting to be its own take on the roguelite genre, and was released in early access earlier this year, and developers were kind of giving me a press key to check it out. And what we have here is a game that has an interesting hook in terms of its basic gameplay, but is still kind of limited in the actual loop itself. The story is that we are trying to escape from hell by climbing these giant towers that are procedurally generated, and we need to get to the top, fight the boss, and move on to the next. The entire game is played vertically, as you can see, with some areas requiring you to kind of auto-scroll. The game at the moment comes with two different characters that have different starting abilities. You'll find weapons as you climb the tower, but your main weapon will basically have its own special ability. This main character is all about melee attacks, and whenever he jumps into an enemy with that kind of up swipe of his claw, or down swipe, it will do massive damage, and will most likely one-shot minor enemies. And there's also a combo bonus for keeping the streak going, as you can see in the upper right, as well as passives that can modify or give you more rewards for it. You'll also find bonus weapons that have a limited time duration, and they may either give you additional attack damage or lifesteal or things along those lines. The currency that you see at the top of the screen is used in various shops, so you can use to buy passives. And similar to games like the Binding of Isaac and the like, these passives stay with you for the duration of your current run. When you die, you'll go back down to 0. But there is a sense of persistence of unlocking new weapons and abilities that can show up in future runs. Now, the basic gameplay doesn't really change depending upon what tower or path you go up. For right now, basically the maps are either kind of like an explorer till you reach the top, or the aforementioned auto-scroller. And then each tower has right now a unique encounter with a boss. Although developers have said they want to add in more mini-boss fights, as well as more bosses to change up each tower going forward. In the version that we played right now on stream, this one only has 2 towers to it, and I think the developer said they want to at least add in a third one that will kind of take it to the end. As for right now, like I said, the basic gameplay works. It does feel a little awkward to play, and that kind of is due to the fact that as you're attacking enemies, it's hard to get away because of the fact that when you're attacking, you can't dodge out of the attack. So the enemy is preparing a massive attack and you're in the middle of a swing, there's no way to avoid it. Now, while you can't really hear it too much due to the volume being lowered, the game of course has its own metal track, and if you're a fan of metal, it should get your head banging there. But other than that, the game itself again has a good solid base to it, but as we're going to talk about next, it still feels kind of limited, at least in this current build. And we're going to talk about that after a quick word to our current Game Wisdom supporters and sponsors. And now for a quick thank you to our current Game Wisdom Patreon supporters and sponsors. And if you'd like to continue this discussion on game design, be sure to check out our Discord channel, linked down below. If you're looking for more wisdom about game design, be sure to check out my latest offering of books, 20 Essential Games to Study, aimed for first-time developers and students looking for some inspiration for their upcoming games, and Game Design Deep Dive Platformers if you're interested in anything regarding 2D and 3D platforming design. They're both available in print, digital, and wherever books are being sold. With Rising Hell right now, the game unfortunately lacks the variance that we would need for this kind of roguelite experience to work, whether it's in the form of differing up the runs, or providing a long form in terms of persistence. At the moment, the only things that you unlock again are new weapons that can show up on future runs, but again, the weapons themselves are at limited duration. Now you can change your passive, or the main weapon for each character, and that does affect things to some extent, but the runs themselves simply follow the same kind of gameplay beat to beat, regardless of what is going on. Some of the items obviously are better than others, including those that either give you more damage or give you higher rewards for sustaining combos. and the boss fights themselves feel more bullet spongy than they do an interesting battle, sometimes taking several minutes of just constant wailing to have any chance of hitting them. Now, like I said, developers have an established roadmap that they're planning to get the rest of the game out, I believe by either the end of 2019 or first quarter of 2020. So there is still time, and like I said, from its basic standpoint, the design certainly works. But if you're like me and you've certainly played your fair share of roguelikes and lights, Rising Hell at the moment just doesn't do anything that makes it stand out from other notable examples like Spelunky or Dead Cells. But I'll definitely be curious to see what developers add in the coming months to it, and again, I would like to thank them for giving me a press key to check this one out. Like I said, there's nothing about this game that is bad or problematic right now, but it just feels limited. And I hope that we do see more elements, more random events, and even adding in more to the persistence. The game does boast having multiple difficulties, but I'm not sure what it actually affects, other than just raising the stats of the enemies up. With that said, that's going to do it for this first look. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll probably come back to this game around the time it is officially done, just to give it another peek. And if you're a developer working on your own game that you'd like me to take a look at for the channel, please don't hesitate to get in touch. But otherwise, this has been Rising Hell, and come back for daily discussions on game design here, and on game wisdom, where is in the art and science of games. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel linked down below where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.